We're putting together a taco soup. And I got up nice and early this morning. Can't you see the warm sunshine coming through the window? I'm so excited about that. We're taking our taco night to a whole new level. And we're going to do that by making homemade taco seasoning. It's going to be so much better than store bought. And that's because of the fact that you can adjust the amount of whatever flavor that you like. So, we need a spice blend that is going to be rich and hearty because tonight we're going to be using it in a wonderful taco soup that's going to be packed with bold flavors and absolute comfort. Now, let me just remind you of the fact that, as always, the recipe will be down in the description box. So, let's get started. We've got our taco seasoning going because, after all, taco soup is not good unless you have an absolutely bold and wonderful seasoning mix. Had a rather large package of ground beef, and what I decided to do was to go ahead and batch cook it because most of the time when you're preparing a dish that requires ground beef, then a lot of times we have to cook it in advance. So that's what I'm doing. I wanted to add some onions, add a little seasoning, just a little basic seasoning, and cook all of the ground beef. And then what I'll do is probably separate it into multiple packages so that we can have ground beef for our taco soup tonight and then ground beef for something else later on this month. Now, what I did yesterday was that I put everything in the crock pot. So here it is. And I put it in the refrigerator because I knew when I got up this morning, I was going to be running. And it was going to be one of those days when I just needed to put things in the crock pot and go. And so that's what we're going to do. So I have everything in the crock pot. And I'm so excited because I'm going to take the foil off and we're going to get it in the crock pot. I'm going to put it on low and slow, give it 8 hours, and our taco soup will be ready. There were two things that I didn't put in last night. One was the corn, and that's because it just slipped my mind. But you know, with a taco soup, you always want some corn. And so I'm going to add probably about 2 cups of corn. I've got a 10-ounce package here, but I'm not going to add all of that. I'm just going to put in about 2 cups of corn, and which is really good for you. And get my, and we're going to stir this up. Now this is pretty thick. I have not added the broth, and that's what we're going to do at this point. We're going to start adding broth, and it may be when I get back later today, I may add even more. Now what I have here is the broth off of those pinto beans that we made the other night, and I'm going to add this broth to our soup because I already know it's going to give us some really good flavor. So let's get that in. And you know, there were onions and green peppers. All of that was a part of that. So let's give all of this a good stir. Now, what I'm doing is that I'm using what I've made. And you know, we had made the pinto beans, and of course I made mine just a little soupy because that's the way the big guy likes them. And but I saved the juice and all of that soupiness. I saved all of that because I knew I had another dish coming up that I could use it in. So we have added all of that to our taco mix, our taco soup mix. Oh yeah, so there we go. All of that's there, nice and juicy. I'm gonna clean up my crock just a little bit. And you know, it was so much fun getting to make our own taco seasoning. And when I get home, I will taste and see if I need to adjust the seasonings at all. And if I don't, then we're good to go. But if I have to add a few seasonings in, I'll probably let it cook on high for another 30 minutes. So let's put this in. And get the top on it. Now I'm sure you've noticed that this is not my little 2.5 quart slow cooker. And the reason for that is because I want enough soup that after we get what we need for tonight, then I'm going to be able to take a portion of this, put it away in the freezer, and that way I can have it another night during the month. Okay, we're plugged in. I'm going to set this on, you know, I have a high 6 hours setting. And I think that's exactly when I'm going to put it on because I'll be back within that time period. So it's on high 6 hours. And, you know, if you know you're not going to make it back that quick, then put it on a low 8 hours. was out of avocado and I just wasn't going to make an extra drive to the store to get some avocado for tonight. But you know what? I love the cilantro, the green onions, and of course, that sprinkle of lime is just going to take this taco soup over the top. Now, I've prepared for the big guy and got his ready. I'm also going to prepare mine, and you know, we have to have a little bit of taste together. You absolutely have to try this at home. You know, you can serve it with tortilla chips, cornbread, warm flour tortillas, or even some Fritos. And you know, then you've got the perfect meal. Now, if you haven't subscribed and you're new to the family, then please hit that subscribe button. And when you do that, you're going to get more homemade recipes just like this. Now, let me ask you this. Do you like your taco soup spicy or mild? I tend to like mine a little more on the spicy side. So, I hope you will have an absolutely wonderful evening with your family. You will enjoy every moment, and that when you prepare your soup, you'll make enough to have some extra containers so that you can have it later in the month.